Listeners Paradise presents My Grandmother's House by Kamala Das. In today's session, we'll be talking about the poem and I will be explaining the important words associated with this poem, the meaning of these lines that the poetess has used, the emotions and the feelings that she wants to express, as well as we'll talk about the poetic devices and the form and meter which are related with this poem. So, first I will read out the poem for you. There is a house now far away where once I received love. That woman died. The house withdrew into silence. Snakes moved among books. I was then too young to read, and my blood turned cold like the moon. How often I think of going there to peer through blind eyes of windows, or just listen to the frozen air, or in wild despair pick an armful of darkness to bring it here to lie behind my bedroom door, like a brooding dog. You cannot believe, darling, can you, that I lived in such a house and was proud and loved. I who have lost my way and beg now at strangers' doors to receive love, at least in small change. These are a list of important words associated with this poem. Please pause the video and note this down. This poem by Kamala Das opens with the image of a house that is far away. This distance is not only physical but emotional and temporal. The poetess says, there is a house now far away where once I received love. The house represents the poet's childhood, a time when she received pure, unconditional love from her grandmother. That single line, I received love, it carries immense weight because it suggests that love was abundant and unquestioned then. But this warmth ends abruptly with the grandmother's death. With her passing, the emotional heart of the house disappears. In the next phrase, the house is described as withdrawing into silence. This is powerful imagery because the house is almost personified. It reacts to the death by shutting itself off. Silence here symbolizes both death and emotional emptiness. The appearance of snakes among the books deepens this image of decay. Snakes suggest fear, neglect, and danger, while the books, which the poetess Kamala Das was too young to read, represent knowledge, memories, and a life that has been left behind and untouched. When she says that her blood turned cold like the moon, this imagery became more physical and sensory in nature. The moon is distant, yes, and it is pale, it is cold, and this mirrors her emotional state. This final line that she says, my blood turned cold like the moon, it conveys how deeply unsettling the house became after love was lost, after the grandmother died. It became a place which once gave warmth now inspires fear and chill. Further, the poetess now shifts to the theme of longing. She often thinks of going back to that house, to her grandmother's house, not to relive the joy that she had there, but to confront the emptiness. The image of peering through the blind eyes of windows is especially striking here. Windows usually allow connection between the inside of the house and the outside world. But here they are blind, unable to see or respond. This suggests that the past cannot acknowledge her anymore. The frozen air reinforces the sense of lifelessness. Even the atmosphere feels dead. In a moment of wild despair, she imagines picking up an armful of darkness and bringing it back with her. Darkness becomes something tangible, something she can carry. And this image shows how heavy and real her sorrow feels. When she compares this darkness to a brooding dog which lies behind her bedroom door, it suggests constant, lingering grief, silence and always present, just like that dog, never allowing her to escape it. In the final stanzas lines of this poem, the poem turns reflective, inwards, and personal as the poetess addresses her darling, likely her husband. There is disbelief in her tone, as if she is trying to convince him and herself that she lived once a full life of love and pride. This memory stands in painful contrast to her present state. The poem ends with one of the most heartbreaking images, where the poetess says that she is begging at strangers' doors for love. Love is no longer freely given. It has become something scarce, almost transactional. The phrase, small change, reduces love to the level of charity, showing the depth of her emotional deprivation. Through these images, Kamala Das expresses how the loss of early love leaves a lifelong ache that no other relationship seems able to fill. Now we will talk about the poetic devices associated with this poem. And as we see, for example, there is the line, "There is a house now far away where once I received love. That woman died." And this is a case for imagery and symbolism. The house represents childhood security and love. Next, we also see the case where the poetess says that the house withdrew into silence. Snakes moved among books. And here the house is personified as the word used is withdrew into silence, as if it were alive. The snakes are mostly a symbol of danger and decay, and the books are a symbol of neglected knowledge. So it is a case of imagery as well as symbolism. Further, the poetess says, "I was then too young to read, and my blood turned cold like the moon." So here, when you say the sentence or the phrase, "blood turned cold like the moon," it is a case of simile, showing emotional shock, where the word like is used. Yes, as we know, words when used as, like, these are used as cases for simile. It is also a case for imagery, where it is more visual and tactile. It is more cold and distant like the moon. Further, the poetess says, how often I think of going there, to peer through blind eyes of windows or just listen to the frozen air. So the windows are given personification here. The windows are given blind eyes and the house unresponsive, lifeless. Just as it is also a case for imagery. The frozen air, it conveys stillness and death-like silence. So the air is frozen with the past of the grandmother who was there, the childhood of the poetess who spent her time there. Further, it says, or in wild despair, pick an armful of darkness to bring it here to lie behind my bedroom door like a brooding dog. So, firstly, we see that it is a case of simile because you see the word like here, and where darkness is compared to a brooding dog, which is more of a symbol of persistent grief which is present. It is also a case for symbolism and imagery where darkness is tangible. So when the poetess says that she wants to pick up the darkness, bring it here, to bring it here as in to go bring it to a present house perhaps, where darkness is given more of a tangible grief, then there is more a sense of lingering sorrow which is there, which the poetess has also compared with the brooding dog. And personification is also seen in this stanza, while the darkness lies like a living creature, where she says that to bring it here to lie behind my bedroom door. So darkness is personified. Further, the poetess says, you cannot believe, darling, can you, that I lived in such a house and was proud and loved. So it is more of a confessional. She's confessing something to her husband, perhaps. And it is an imagery where you can see the emotional contrast between the past love, where she says, I lived in such a house, and present absence, where this house is no more. The emotions, the depth of the feelings associated is there, but she cannot go and relive her childhood associated in this house. Finally, the poetess says that I who have lost my way and beg now at strangers' doors to receive love, at least in small change. Here you see a case of imagery as well as symbolism, where begging is seen mostly as an emotional deprivation. And the small change, where she says it's small change. What does it mean, small change? In where the love that she associates in modern lifestyles is mostly reduced to a transactional nature. So earlier she wants to say that when she in her childhood, her grandmother loved her, she loved her grandmother. They shared more of a emotional depth with each other. But this is, alas, now more of a transactional nature. And this tone is very painful, and she's despairing in the present situation, and she longs for the love and the affection that she had with her grandmother in the past. The form, the rhyme scheme, and the meter. Now, this is a very special poem in the way that the poem is free verse, in the sense that it does not follow a fixed rhyme scheme or stanza pattern. So as you read to the poem, you will see that there are no fixed stanzas as we have seen in the other poems. Yes, and you see no fixed rhyme scheme as well. There is no consistent rhyme, as in the sense that some words are used in short sentences, some are used as longer expressions, and this combination of the short and the longer sentences, they perfectly capture the personal, reflective, and emotional tone of the work. If you notice that the meter of the poem is also irregular, so there is no beat as such. Yes, there is no meter as we talk about in the other poems as well. And this is a speciality if you see, if you compare with the other poems. For example, another poem by Kamala Das is My Mother at 66. It is a similar kind of poem where it is more freely written. The poetess is pouring out her emotions and feelings onto paper, and it connects directly with the listener with the readers, and that is how Kamala Das has written this poem as well. Thank you for listening. For more such content, do subscribe to our channel.